as we've been going through the book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk by Faber and Maslish. We've been talking about how to encourage our child's autonomy. And in previous episodes, we said that one of the first things we can do is offer our child choices instead of just an age appropriate choices. So if our children are very young and we're used to getting the clothing out that they're going to wear, offer, get out a couple shirts and say you want to wear this shirt or you want to wear that shirt. So offering choices. The second thing that we said was don't ask, the second thing we said was show respect for the child's struggle. So if they're learning to tie their shoes, for example, um, and they're having a difficulty, you can say something like, um, learning to tie shoes is difficult. In other words, you're not rushing in to tie their shoes for them. And the third thing we said was don't ask too many questions. Your kid comes home from school. How was school today? Did you do well on your math test? Did you talk to that girl you've been interested in? How was football practice? Instead of barraging them with questions, just a simple welcome home. Now, why would we do that? Well, we've talked about it in a previous episode. But today we're going to talk about don't rush to answer questions. Don't rush to answer questions. So, as usual, they have a comic or two or three in the middle of the chapter about the issue, and they give us some practical examples. So, this first example that they give us is a little girl looking out the window, and she asks her father, "Daddy, where does rain come from?" And now this is what we're saying instead of doing this. So the little girl asks, "Daddy, where does rain come from?" And the father answers, "Rain is caused by evaporation and condensation of moisture. You see, what actually happens is dot, dot, dot." Instead of doing it that way, because we're not rushing to answer questions, let's try it differently. The little girl says, "Daddy, where does rain come from?" And the daddy says, "That's an interesting question. What do you think?" This doesn't just teach our children what to know, it teaches them how to think. It's an invaluable skill that will come in handy in every area of their life. But if we want to encourage autonomy, that is, we want them to learn they don't have to be completely dependent on us for everything, every minute of the day, then not rushing to answer their questions is one of the ways that we can do that. Now, there's another example here, and it's a boy asking his mother. And again, this is the bad example. "Why does grandma visit us every week?" And the mom, who's vacuuming, says, "Because she loves us so much and because she lives nearby and dot, dot, dot." So instead of that, when the little boy asks, "Why does grandma visit us every week?" the mother might say, "You wonder about that. Why does grandma visit us every week?" Again, it encourages the child not to be completely dependent on us for everything, every minute of the day. And when they can learn that, and when they can learn to think for themselves and not just depend on their parents for all the answers, then they're moving toward autonomy, which will help them grow up and mature even quicker. Thanks for joining us today on Parenting Matters with McCracken.